I got my first remote job with no experience and no resume. And if you would love to find out how I did it, then stick around in this video because this video is for you. Hi, my name is Angela and I will be documenting my remote work journey in this space. So hopefully along the line you get to learn yours with all the tips and tricks I'll be sharing here and all my experience, mistakes, everything, don't worry. I started working remotely sometime around 2024. At this time I was still a student, so I used to create content. I was just a retired beauty creator. I used to draw my body, then I stopped and I transitioned into making educational videos. I got nominated for an award and I won the award, and I started getting like traffic to my page. People wanted to know, oh, who is this girl? Is this girl that won? So yeah, and because of that I had this professor. He reached out to me. He was like, oh, I love what you do, and he asked if I would love to work under him because he's working on some research. And I was like, because at that time I wanted to learn how to write and get better at my legal writing, so I didn't mind if it was not paid because I wanted to learn how to write, and it was for a publication in an area of law I was interested in. Definitely I'm hopping on it. I was working for him. I was actually learning at the process because I had zero knowledge on research, but I did not say no. I didn't say no. But along the line, it was working for another professor, but I did not know, and he asked me to send out a form for those interested in taking a simulation game test, sort of around that time. Just me doing my work, I sent it out, and under a short period of time I got people signed up. Like in less than an hour we had over 20 students from different schools who were interested. The professor he was working with was really impressed, and I was like, oh, he would love to work with me. Apparently it was an international organization, law related, actually legal simulation game. I was working for him as a campus ambassador in Nigeria, and I was compensated. So yes, they have like different ambassadors in different universities in Africa, but it's only restricted to law students. I was one of the ambassadors, one of the first ambassadors self. So we started working. Then along the line I also got promoted. I started working for him as an executive assistant, though contract based, and my compensation increased. Yeah, that was like my first international role. I didn't have to apply, I didn't have any experience. I was basically just learning on the job, and yeah, I got it. I worked for him. I ended my contract, and that was how it happened. Aside from that, I've worked as a social media virtual assistant. I have worked as a social media manager for a legal tech company. I have worked as I'm currently working as legal content manager for a real estate law firm here in Lagos, Nigeria. So yes, I'm your go-to person. I can teach you a thing or two. Okay, so stick around. These are the lessons you can use to land a remote job with no experience. No experience doesn't mean that like I mean no practical experience, but of course you have like things that you've done, you have different rules that you have taken, and you can like make it make sense and compile it and put it in a CV. As a newbie, someone who is new to the remote space, you want to find an interest, something you know that you have probably done before, and you can kind of like infuse that into a particular role till you find your niche. Do you get it? First of all, I would advise you to research. Yes, make your research. Find what you love, find the skills that are necessary for that role, find the tools you need to work with. You don't need to learn the tools, you don't need to have like perfect knowledge of the tools, because on the job you would learn on the job. Number two is volunteer. Like I said, I volunteered to work with someone because I wanted to be better at writing. All my roles required me to write, though they are legal related. You need to volunteer, and you don't just volunteer anywhere. Volunteer where you know that you can get skills or you can work, and whatever problem you solve there, you can transfer it to your CV. You need to put yourself out there. You need to speak to people. Oh, I can do this, I can do that. If you cannot volunteer, if you find it difficult to volunteer, you can take mock tasks, document your process, and put it in your CV. Put yourself out there. You would reach out to you, and always put a call to action. Your Instagram, your TikTok, or whatever platform you are using is like your online portfolio. They would reach out to you, and you will not have to reach out to them. I think the only job I actually had to apply for is my current role, and I got it on LinkedIn. I have never applied for a role before. They always reach out to me or somebody referred. So, but you need to make your research. Second, you need to volunteer strategically. Third, you need to put yourself out there strategically. And number four, you need to be very prayerful. You need to pray. Oh, you need to know how to do your CV. You write your CV just in case you have to apply, or just in case they want to see your CV at the end of the day. Maybe they ask for it. I'm like, oh, let me see what you've done before. You also need to have a LinkedIn account. You need to have a LinkedIn account. It's like non-negotiable. These are the basic things you need to know if you want to land a job online. My next video, I'm talking about the platforms you can land a remote job. And yeah, see you next time.